What's going on, Sooner Nation? This spring has been absolutely incredible because it feels like more than ever we have gotten the best access to being able to see how the team is doing going through spring practices, going through these scrimmages, and just seeing how the team is developing, seeing some of these new guys on the field. But last night, during an interview with the OU media, you had one player on defense specifically that made some comments that might have actually excited a lot of Oklahoma fans, because this is a guy that you absolutely needed to step up and fill some shoes for a guy that's going to no longer be a part of the program because, well, he's going on to bigger and better things, hopefully, in the NFL. So we're going to talk about it today. Before we do that, as always, I just need y'all to join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. Give me your guys' thoughts. But no, that's what we're here to talk about today. We are here to talk about David Stone, talking about his growth and development this offseason, and even how he has grown into 15 to 20 pounds this spring. And also talking about how he's growing a little bit, right? So when you looked at the spring roster, I think they had him listed at 6'3", 313. But if this guy is like 6'4", 315, 320, if you're an Oklahoma fan, you're completely ecstatic about that. Because this offseason, you're losing Dejon Terry to the NFL draft. And so you really needed somebody to come in and help fill those shoes and fill those snaps where Dejon Terry was a high-level performer for Oklahoma last season. When you take a look at it, he had a total of 317 snaps. Now you're returning Grayson Halton, who had 402 total snaps last year. Dominic Williams, who had 416. Jaden Jackson, the All-American, 387. And you've got guys like Marcus Strong, who you're hoping in the third year maybe takes a step up. You're bringing in a guy like Trenton Wilson. Obviously, you got guys like Ace Hodges in the program. Devon Sears is still returning. You've got Trenton Wilson as a true freshman coming in, and eyes and heads are turning there. But David Stone even kind of expounded with the OU media a little bit, talking about the perspective and how his approach to the game and life is just on another level this spring. And how life outside of football no longer hinders his personal growth. And you hear those things and you say, it's clicking. He's getting it. And then you see the product of it in spring. I think it was George Stoya posted some videos. I think it was George Stoya. It might have been somebody else. Somebody posted some videos of the offensive line and the defensive line going at it in some one-on-ones. And you saw David Stone going up against EPL and some other guys. And when you watch those one-on-one videos, if you don't get excited, I don't know what's going to get you excited, because the defensive line for so many years has kind of been one of the spots that you looked at and said it's been a hindrance of Oklahoma. And it feels like since Todd Bates has gotten here, it's been and Oklahoma fans really expected that defensive line that Todd Bates was able to build and mold and, get guys in at Clemson. And it feels like going into year 4 with Brent Venables, we're finally there. It feels like this thing is coming together slowly but surely. And you see David Stone taking that next step. This is what you needed if you were an Oklahoma fan. This was a former 5-star interior guy. This was the cream of the crop in that recruiting cycle. So to have David Stone come in here after last year, where he had 94 total tackles. You're okay, or not 94 total tackles, 94 total snaps, sorry. This is exciting. This is great news. This is fantastic news. This is the depth. This is the progression that you wanted to see this offseason. You wanted to see guys take this next step. And now, outside of David Stone, you're looking at a guy like Nigel Smith, who's sliding into the interior. What's his growth and development and maturity going to look like? What is a guy like Trenton Wilson, the lone defensive lineman in that last class? What does it look like for him? Because we've heard really good things about him. You're hearing that he's turning heads. But is this a guy that's going to be able to come out there this fall, take some rotational snaps? Or is he going to have to redshirt, continue to build his body up? I think with either one of those, you're okay. But if he is so good that he can't keep himself off the field, as an Oklahoma fan, you're taking that all day long. You're getting excited. So you have to ask yourself, does Oklahoma have another star emerging on this defense? Because last year, you saw the star emerge in Kip Lewis, right? You saw a star emerge in Robert Spears-Jennings, who at one point was rated as one of the best safeties among PFF. You saw Jaden Jackson on the interior defensive line. Is David Stone taking that elevation to be one of the next stars on a Brent Venables-led defense? And if so, and you're an Oklahoma fan, you're completely stoked about this. And again, some of this access that we're getting during the spring this year is just incredible. I don't remember a year where I feel like we've gotten this much access to the players, to the scrimmages, to the practices, to the one-on-ones, and being able to get this much highlights, clips, and footage of everything that's going on. So I look at it and I say, what's the defensive end room going to look like? Because obviously it feels like the interior of the defensive line's coming together. What's that outside looking like? And you've got our Mason Thomas returning, and I think there's a lot of high expectations for him there. Marvin Jones Jr. doing the Marvin Jones Jr. things that you expected, right? He's doing what you expected when you got him out of the transfer portal. But are PJ Adebayor and Danny Okoye going to be able to take those next steps and be that next generation of edge rushers for Oklahoma? Because you're losing a guy like Hayden Woolard, who played quite a bit for you last year, right? Is Taylor Wines another guy that we've heard a lot about? What's he going to look like? And so I'm really excited to see how this defensive line from the interior all the way to the outside actually comes together. But so far, it feels like the return out of spring is that this defensive line, although last year it felt like it was really good, it's going to be even better this year. And it feels like it's going to be that way for the defense as a whole. But the defensive line is where it starts. That's where you create the pressure. That's where you try to close the holes, right? I'm excited. That's all I think I could say. So I want to hear from y'all. Join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. Give me your thoughts. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We're going to continue talking about spring content all off season long.